Alrighty, here's the countdown starting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a game between areaSaroVati and Pride. As you're looking at right now, I got a brand new overlay made by my amazing and talented sister. She busted out the Photoshop skills, and assuming my hotkeys are working right, that should have just gone right back into the game. I'm now going to, unfortunately, have to Alt-Tab out to just double-check that that's, like, actually what happened. Kind of breaking the whole point of it, but yes, it is what happened, and that's like no, what? Oh, okay. Okay, I don't know what just happened right there. We're gonna find out if because I totally just got a crash bug for StarCraft, and yes, StarCraft's continuing to load. I really hope it's like just kidding. I totally crashed, but don't worry, I'm fine, brah. I can keep going. But as we see right here, it is areaSaroVati, the purple Protoss in the top left, with Pride, the blue Terran in the bottom right. For those who have not been paying attention to the FRB Grand Tournament, areaSaroVati is a professional gamer from Team Area 51, and he's going to be taking part in that tournament. And so this is kind of like a preliminary sneak peek at the skill that we can expect in that tournament. The tournament, I will freely admit, has gone totally out of control. We started it out as like a complete community event. There's going to be no prize pool, 16 players who were like pretty much the best ones that we could find, and were certainly quite good, but not like the super top level of pros. Since then, we've gotten Gonzi, a former Code S Terran. We've gotten Rainbow, a former Code S Terran. Axlav, currently on Team IS, that I can't quite remember what it stands for, but formerly of Team EG. We have Vile Illusion, who I love watching his ladder. Like, the whole list is just something you have to go and check out. Look at Team Liquid for the FRB Grand Tournament thread. You'll find the list of all the players that are currently taking part, and it's like seriously become outrageous. We now have two sponsors helping us out. They are cybersports.tv and your.pro. Your.pro is a really interesting site. I'm really intrigued at their kind of like business model. Basically what they do is they have a kind of virtual currency that you can get by doing kind of like, I'm trying to think of the right term, like things that company crap, I'm totally forgetting it right now. Though actually, into the game right now, we have actually a gas deal going down for Area. He does not want Saravati to be getting the early gas that would allow him to put on things like early at 2x pressure and other stuff like that. And yeah, Mad Pro, well, actually, oh, no, never mind. You guys can see the spectator thing. I forgot that this wasn't a replay. For those who are not aware, this is a live broadcast. I'm watching this game as it is being played, so you guys get to enjoy all of this ridiculous amount of spectator chat, because this is a very, very highly anticipated game, and the people who are hanging out in the FRB channel were like just super excited to go and see what these guys are going to be doing on it. And I'm still trying to remember what that thing is, like... A questionnaire, that's the word I was looking for. You can fill out questionnaires on their site for various of companies that are trying to kind of gather information about like what their customers are interested in and stuff like that, and you earn this virtual currency on your pro. You can then invest that in getting things like a Korean StarCraft account. You can get like Battlefield 3 or other like Amazon.com gift cards and other like really cool stuff like that. You can also bet it on StarCraft games. They have an automatic matchmaking system that you bet a certain amount, it matches you up with a person in StarCraft 2. You play the game, it checks who won, and winner walks away with however much you wagered. So they've been sponsoring the FRB Grand Tournament and are going to be helping us doing a giveaway that's going to happen. There will be more details of that released soon. But actually going into this game that we are watching right now, we do see that Pride has gone for a very, very fast early expansion, and indeed Saravati has not. He's right now up to 2 gateways. The second one just finishing up. He's chrono boosting out his Stalker. And he doesn't even have close to enough money for the expansion, though I do think that Pride is probably getting a little bit nervous right now. Yeah, as we see, he's immediately throwing down the bunker and trying to just rally out as many Marines as possible, because there's no expansion on the way. He did manage to scout that with that one SCV that got shut down right about here, and so he's facing some one-base play, and right now he is really only producing off of the 2 racks. He doesn't even have this one gas, and oh no, Saravati, don't lag out. Do not lag out, man. That would be like the biggest troll ever, to get everybody so enthused about this game, and then he's kind of like, yeah, computer can't handle it. FRB is too awesome for the internet to deal with. Oh, this one Stalker sneaking right into the base, doing that nasty little bit of micro that it can do because it is so much faster than Marines, where it kind of steps back, takes a shot, steps back, takes a shot, really doesn't take that much damage as time goes on. That Stalker was eventually cleaned up, there just wasn't enough space in the base for it to continue running, but look at how little health most of these Marines have. If it wasn't for this one bunker, they would all be totally doomed. But this one Stalker also sneaking in, however, a nice little wall and prevents it from leaving, and these guys really need to get in that bunker. But no, it's not actually a full wall, and I didn't know that that space was wide enough for a unit as big as a Stalker to sneak through. So yeah, finally, Pride actually getting the units into that bunker. And losing 2 Stalkers in exchange for 1 Marine overall is just really not a good trade. I do think that that was a mistake by SaroVati. He's taking this expansion, which is quite interesting. I don't quite know why that is, to be honest. The natural is very obviously right here. Even if I don't know how much experience SaroVati has playing on this map, which is Cross Point, by the way, for those who are interested, created by Iron Man. And this ramp is pretty straightforward to defend, so almost everybody takes this as their first base, but no, he's decided to take this left-hand base as his first expansion. Right now, just a little bit of back and forth going on at this ramp. That one hole still hasn't been plugged, and so, okay, now there's the unit that's going to actually build the supply depot and finish that off. Though there might be another one right here, which would allow Zealots to get really good surface area on these if SaroVati decides he wants to go for a bust instead of trying to play this out as a macro game. He does have Warp Gate research done, and right now the robotics facility on the way, though his opponent has started stim and +1 weapons, so I'll be really interested to see if this is like an early Colossus play, because right now there's just a huge number of Marines currently on the field, though right now there are double tech labs going down, so it might be a big Marauder transition. And if the composition of Pride is mostly Marine, then Immortals and things like that really won't be all that useful. You'll definitely be wanting to go for the early Colossus tech, but if it's going to be a big Marauder push, then it would be really good to have some of those Immortals out on the field. Just now taking the second gas, so it's going to be very difficult for Pride to do anything really beyond mass bio. And yeah, as we see right now, these 2 more racks is done, 1 more on the way. So just going for mass bio, and that will be don't lag out, SaroVati, you're not allowed. And actually, yes, we do see Colossus coming, as on the production tab, the robotics bay has been started. I would really like to see SaroVati expand again, I have to admit, because if you're going to take this base, you can really take this one without being too much more kind of spread out or vulnerable. I actually wonder, as I think about it, if this little kind of like mid-tier high ground will be important for Colossus play, or perhaps versus drops, just because the Colossus and Reaper and other units with the, well, actually those are the only units with cliff walking, but they can get up into the main base through this one narrow point only. So Reaper, for example, are useful on this map. It's not like you're totally banned from getting into the main, but there's only a couple places you can do it. And it might be that SaroVati actually intends to defend this base with very clever Colossus play, because he can do a lot of micro here, and with extended thermal lance will probably be able to deal out some pretty good damage. Area flatline leaving the game. Exo leaving the game. People are dropping like flies right now. They just can't handle the awesome that we are seeing right here. The starport has completed with the reactor almost actually done right now, and they are swapping out so that they can begin double producing probably a pair of medevacs and then into Viking production, as we see, yeah, right there, a pair of medevacs on the way. And I just realized I totally forgot to turn off the health bars, which is something I'm going to be trying to do more when I will be casting rather than playing. But sorry, this game, I was just told about it a little bit ago and hopped right in to start casting it for you guys, so that will be off for the next game. Don't worry too much about that. And right now, this is a kind of small force, particularly without extended thermal lance. As we see on the supply tab, Pride is up by about 10, and when you only have like 70 supply, that's pretty big. In fact, he's continuing to expand that lead. This one Colossus is very vulnerable because its range is the same as a Marauder, as we see right here. And Marauders do an amazing 22 damage per shot versus armored targets like the Colossus. So those 3 Marauders could snipe it down incredibly quickly, like might be what's about to happen right here. Not really target fire going on yet, but some good micro keeping that one Colossus alive. And the force field's mostly able to help out, but this one force is still very dangerous, so there are a lot of red Marines remains right here. That is one of the weaknesses of having this huge Bioforce without, there we are, the Medivacs haven't joined up quite yet. I do think that SaroVati's getting a little over-eager with this Colossus. He could very easily face a army that turns around, stims, and snipes it with really no problem. And yes, that's happening right here. Very, very easily sniping that. And in fact, he might lose all of these units. That's a lot of gas for him to have to worry about, though this second Colossus showing up is really going to be the saving grace right here. The supplies have evened up, and these Vikings are being targeted down pretty much when they're conveniently over. Yeah, there we are, though they were able to snipe that second Colossus. So that was really risky by SaroVati, and it could have gone a lot worse for him, but he was barely able to take that fight with the reinforcements. And now as we look at the army tab, it's still in favor of Pride, though I think that the tech advantage is slowly starting to go into SaroVati's favor. As we see right now, the Twilight Council is on the way. I didn't see if he got any forges. Yes, it does look like he does not have any upgrades on the way, though his opponent does have the +1 attack. And right now, just this base being taken, Natural already being taken, and the 4th base on the way for SaroVati. So he's definitely going for the economic advantage over his opponent. But this one base starting to become very, very vulnerable. It's definitely more spread out than your usual expand path, which kind of arcs along the top of the map if you get top position. So these forces had to be pulled way out of position. And this could definitely come back to punish SaroVati later in the game. That if there are drops or more multi-pronged aggression going on right now, for example, if there was just a drop going down on this third, there'd be absolutely nothing SaroVati could do about it. He didn't have his forces split. No, don't lag out, man. He would just not have his forces split up in such a way that they could deal with that, though he's been able to totally decimate this force, keeping that Colossus alive until the Vikings able to get the last shot off on it, and it's now almost a purely Marauder force. And Pride, I really displeased with the lag, and so we need to hopefully figure out what's going on with that and make it stop, just because one of these players lagging out or getting in like different results, somebody losing or somebody winning because of a lag spike, would just be really awful when we have players of this caliber in the game right now. Zealot legs are on the way, along with the Templar archives, so definitely going for big area of effect attacks, though this has come at the expense of his army size. As we look at the army tab once again for just a moment, yeah, it's only 39 supply versus 57 of his opponent, so it's a serious disadvantage for SaroVati. And he's definitely counting on his tech and just general AoE effects to kind of equalize that disadvantage that he's going to find himself in against the raw brute force that a Marine Marauder Medevac Ball can provide. Another command center going down, probably going to be taking this expansion for Pride, and the first forge on the way right now to try to equalize that upgrade disadvantage a little bit, though it is going to be kind of difficult for him at this point. His opponent already has 2 weapons almost done and level 1 armor on the way, and it's still 0-0 everything for SaroVati, so definitely a upgrade kind of disadvantage, I would say, for him to be in. The first 3 High Templar are out on the field, and no Ghost Academy, unless I somehow missed it. Doesn't look like it, though. Yeah, no Ghost Academy that I'm seeing right now. And oh no, so he did have 3 engineering bases. A little bit of a mistake from Pride, but it's only a little bit of mental. So not actually, never mind. There is a Ghost Academy on the field. Just he hit it at his 3rd base. So a couple of ghosts are on the way, but they will not have the Mobius Reactor to start with. However, there's a big engagement going on right here, and once again, the tech advantage really carrying SaroVati. It's a definitely fascinating thing that he has been able to start pulling off in this fewer resources per base game, because ordinarily, when you're facing these just gigantic bio balls, the Colossus can't deal enough damage in order to kill them off, and you need a lot of gateway units to just soak up the damage while the Colossus slowly deal the AoE damage needed to carve up the bio units. However, when you have 4 of them out there and your opponent, as we look at the army supply tab right now, really only has like 70 army supply, that's not a good place for the bio army to be. It is quite easy for them to be just chewed up by that number of very high-tech units. Right now, this one command center becoming a planetary fortress was a little bit harassed by a couple of zealots, but I don't believe that there were any units killed. Is this the... Yes. So, yeah, just a couple of probes, or workers being killed there potentially. So, Storm is complete, and right now we have Still just the 3 High Templar on the field as we look at the units tab. Actually, there's a 4th one who's hanging out over here. And yeah, it's the unit numbers in this are absolutely bizarre. I'm really, really interested at what areaSaroVati is doing. So you have almost equal numbers of in fact, literally equal numbers of Colossus to Stalkers, and now equal numbers of High Templar to Stalkers. That's a very, very different type of StarCraft 2 you are playing than in the ordinary version. So Blink is almost complete with level 1 ground armor on the way. Definitely a good decision against a very Marine-focused play, though there are a lot of Marauders out. In fact, far more Marauders than Marines at the moment. There's now, I don't think, any medevacs on the field right now. Quick look at the units tab. No medevacs whatsoever. So that means that every stim and every storm is going to be incredibly dangerous. Yaki actually saying this is areaSaroVati's first game in FRB, so that's incredibly interesting. I'm like, wow, I would not have thought that. This looks like a quite prepared build from him, so I guess he's just adjusting to it very, very quickly. And yeah, this one base being totally denied, and Pride making the probably wise assessment that he really can't take that army right now. He needs some kind of healing for these units. It's just so dangerous for him to try to engage when there's Mass Storm and 6 Colossus on the field. There's also now Archons joining the fight, so unless he lands perfect EMPs, these storms and just area of effect damage of the Colossus laser beams are going to fry his forces. This one base also being secured. Some static defense going down. I like that a lot. Static defense is very, very important. But a really bizarre army split up. I'm worried that he just right-clicked it and the Cliffwalkers are moving around in a totally different way. So that was really, really precarious for areaSaroVati. If Pride had pounced on that separated ground force without all of the Colossus to defend them, that would have been a very, very dangerous place to be. We do see both players' supplies approaching max, though considering that we're 21 minutes into the game, both players have 5 bases. That is a really, really fun thing about the FRB thing. However, the big engagement going on right now, a huge stim, but he needs to do something with that stim, otherwise that's an unbelievable amount of damage he will have just taken in order to get that buff for all of those units, particularly with no medevacs whatsoever. Some pretty decent micro going down for Pride, but he's just being chased around the map. He doesn't dare move in to try to engage this mass AoE. The Stalkers eventually managing to kill the Vikings off, but yeah, there's just so little army left for Pride. It's down to 74 supply against 128, and Pride is forced to GG. Alrighty, so that is the end of the first game that is going to be being played by these two players. I will be casting the rest of them as they are pretty much played. So, going to swap back to the awesome overlay just to double check that it actually records this properly. Boom! So you should be looking at the sweet, sweet overlay that will be the intro and exit of my future cast. And I will see all you guys in just a moment with Game 2. Like, seriously? Why can't I? Come on, why is it still recording? It's being so... Fine, close window.